Okay, our camera's been repositioned, and I'm hoping that everybody has got these items that I mentioned. Now, the name of this video is a deeper look at Gethsemane. How many of you read your Bible and have read about the life and times of Jesus through Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John? Most of the time, there are many of us that read the Bible and we don't exactly absorb what's written on the page. I myself have been guilty to read something 2 or 3 times and it doesn't mentally register in my head what the book's telling me, because the Bible is a spiritual book and you receive gifts from a spiritual nature. Well, this is very true about this particular part we're going to talk about. People in the past have taken what is known as the Pepsi Challenge or the Coke Challenge or whatever other kind of challenges are out there. In this setup, I'd like for you to participate with me and take the Jesus Challenge. In this challenge, if you truly participate, rather than just watch the video and understand, you may absorb a bigger piece of Jesus Christ and have a much better understanding and a much better closeness to Him in understanding some of the important things that He did. Most of the time we read the Bible and it does appear to be words on a page, just like when the Bible says Jesus walked on water. Well, our brain knows that if we tried that, we're going to sink to the bottom. And if we throw a stone out there, well, we're just going to sink to the bottom. And we cannot break the mentality of that. But I'd like for you to participate with me. Now, along with those items, you're going to need a bowl and a couple of spoons. So, let us begin. First, let's grab some flour. And let's put a little bit of flour in this bowl. It's very difficult for a blind guy to do, but nevertheless, there's my flour going right in. Okay, now, next thing I need to add just a little bit of sugar. I'm not going to use a spoon for that because I just need a little splash of sugar. Okay. Next, let's add a little bit of mayo. Doesn't take a lot, just a little. There we go. Okay. And let's see. I need something. Let's hand this to my camera operator. Okay. Next, we're going to add a few sunflower seeds. Just a few. There we go. Okay. Continuing on, let's add a little bit of salt. And then we'll add some pepper. Okay. Now, we're going to add a little bit of hot sauce. There we go. Now, let's put in a little bit of pickle juice here. We'll just take ourselves a spoon here, dip out a little bit of juice. There we go. Thank you. Just about ran out of counter space, so I'll need to set this over here to the side. And you can use powdered onion or minced onion, either one, doesn't matter. There we go. A little bit of that in there. Okay. Boy, I can tell you, this doesn't smell too good. Actually, it smells kind of hideous. There's a little bit of mustard. And we want to put a little ketchup in it. There we go. Now, last but not least, our chocolate syrup, or in this case, our pancake syrup. There we go. Voila. Now, let's just add a little bit of water to this. There we go. Now, we want to mix this up real good. We want this to be on the wet side. The soupy side, if you will. But I'll tell you, doesn't really smell too good. It has a hot sauce, oniony, sweet flavor to it. I'm a blind guy, and I can tell you right now, it doesn't look too good either. Looks like somebody ate chicken noodle soup and threw this up. This is a biblical concoction, though. It really is. Now, for those of you that are curious why we made all this, I'll tell you. So that you get a better understanding as to what this represents. Now, the next big question is are you willing to drink this? Because I can tell you right now, based on what it smells like and based on what it looks like, and I'll hold this up there so you can get a nice, ugly shot of this. That doesn't look pretty. And I can tell you, being in your shoes, I wouldn't want to drink this either. But I will say to you, why don't you drink that? And for whatever your reason is, mine is that this is vile looking, and this is hideous looking, and it smells foul, and it's nasty. How could you expect me to drink something like this? Well, you made it. You made this. You just sat there with me and made this very thing. And your response would probably be, well, it's because you instructed me to. Yes, you are correct. Now let me reveal to you the role that I am playing. This is my name tag. It says Satan. Do you see how easy it was for me to get you to mix this bowl of vileness up? This was very easy for me to do. Just like it is easy for Satan to make you sin. Which is exactly what all of this is. You don't understand? Okay. The flour. The flour that you used, each minute particle of this flour represents a lie. And if you've ever told a child about the story of Santa Claus, or the Easter Bunny, or the Tooth Fairy, and all of the stories that go with it, you can see how fast that little heap adds up. And that's why it's in there. That's why flour represents lies. The hot sauce, this is a really good one. It goes along with the chocolate syrup or the pancake syrup. Pancake syrup represents one form of sexual immorality, and so does the hot sauce. Anal sex is involved with sexual immorality with this, and I'll let the color tell you why. The hot sauce represents oral sex, which is also sexually immoral, because you got to get each other good and hot and bothered in order to do it to one another. Both of these are sexually immoral and are sins. The ketchup. What's the ketchup for? Well, the ketchup represents the blood of tomatoes. And if you've ever hated anybody, Paul says hatred is murder. Here's their blood. So what's the mustard for? Well, I'll tell you what the mustard's for. Have you ever been into a physical or verbal altercation with anybody? Well, that's where cutting the mustard comes in, because that silver serpent tongue always prevails after a physical or verbal dispute. Let me give you an example. A dude punches you in the jaw, you go into a raging fit and you clean his clock. You beat him up one side and down the other, and when you're done, now I've given you something to think about, pal. The next time you decide to jump off your lily pad, I guarantee you're going to think twice about jumping into this thunderstorm. Ain't you, pal? That's cutting the mustard with your silver serpent tongue. And the Bible tells you to control and tame this beast. There's your sin. Well, what was the dill juice for? Have you ever taken the name of the Lord in vain? It leaves a sour taste in your mouth, doesn't it? There's what that's for. Well, okay. What's the sunflower seeds for? Sunflower seeds represent coveting. See, these seeds come in a shell. Even though these have been deshelled, they're grown inside a shell. And that shell hides this seed. Coveting is hiding something in your heart, whether it be your neighbor's wife, your neighbor's car, your neighbor's house, or anything else that belongs to your neighbor. When you hide that in your heart, there's the seed. The seed hidden within the shell. Another good one to use is a raw egg. But eggs are expensive, so I didn't figure you wanted to waste an egg on this. So I went with something very cheap. But as the egg is concealed within its shell, it is coveted inside its shell, just like this seed is. They both serve the same purpose. So what's the mayo for? Okay. This is another sexual immoral act, though it involves what God would deem consensual sex between a husband and wife. Only the man or the woman has done it with multiple husbands or multiple wives, which makes it adultery. Note the color, pretty clean, but nevertheless used and perverted by Satan to become sin. What's the minced onion for, or the onion powder? Okay. Theft. Have you've ever stolen anything in your life, cheated on your taxes, or walked out of a supermarket with so much as a penny more than you deserved without taking it back. A penny to you is not a big deal, but to God, it's everything. It means everything. It really does. It just doesn't mean nothing here because that's Satan saying, oh, well, it's okay. It's just a penny. Well, we'll get into that in just a minute. You see, onions steal liquid out of things. These onions will soak up that water you put in there to turn this into a soup to make it drinkable. See, that's what it is. You don't want to eat this, you want to drink it. See, this is the wine of the wrath of God, a simulation of. That's why it's so vile. That's why it looks so ugly. That's why it smells so bad. Because all of this sin went into it. What's the salt and the pepper for? Seasons. These are seasonings. You don't fornicate or have sex in the middle of a combat zone. Or if you do, then you're not very intelligent, because you get your head shot off trying to have sex right in the middle of a combat zone. No more than you would want to commit murder in the middle of a police station with 5,000 police officers looking at you. See, that wouldn't be the right season to do that either. No more than you would want to try to steal money in front of an IRS agent right there where he's watching. See, these represent seasons, and Satan uses these for the right time to get you to do all of these. Every one of these sins has a season in which you are to do it. And he sets it up perfectly according to his plan. And last but not least, sugar. What's the sugar for? Well, if you take this sin and its vileness, ooh, that's nasty, that's gross, I don't want it, nuh-uh. So Satan sugarcoats it. Remember the first time you had sex and you exposed yourself to a woman or a man and you was like embarrassed and you was like, yeah. But then after a while you got used to it. That's the sugar-coated topping. Oh, it's okay, man, you stole a penny. That's just a lousy penny and that don't matter. Yes, it does. Oh, it's okay to hate somebody. That don't mean nothing. It's just a feeling. Paul said it's murder. Well, your brother will forgive you because you lost your cool and you broke his jaw. Really? Are you sure it's that simple? You see, Satan likes to sugarcoat things. Oh, you slept with this girl, now you slept with that girl, or you slept with this guy, and now you slept with that guy. Well, guess what? Oh, it's okay. This is what you're supposed to do. He wasn't the right one for you, so you moved on to the bigger, better thing. Sugar-coating, fornication, and adultery. That's what he does. This is what the perverter does. Look at it. It's right there in front of you. This is a bowl of your sin put right in front of you. In the Bible, it tells that Jesus went to the Garden of Gethsemane after his betrayal. That's where they arrested him. And Jesus prayed until he bled. Now, I guarantee, me trying to get you to drink this, I spent, 30 seconds? And all I got was negativity. I ain't drinking that nasty, vile stuff. This vile stuff of your own doing, this vileness, this evilness of your own creation, which you just created. You just done it. Because I played the devil's advocate and coerced you into making this. Now this is your cup. I talked you into it. I made it seem like a good idea and led you right into making this, just like he leads us into sin. See the reality? That Jesus prayed until he bled. You argued about drinking your own vial, your own wickedness. Jesus was given a cup that didn't just have yours, but it had mine and your neighbors and everybody living in the United States and everybody living on the face of the earth right now and everybody who has ever already lived on this earth and everybody who ever will live on this earth. That's the cup that Jesus was given. You bellowed for 30 seconds about drinking your own cup of upchuck. Now you understand why Christ prayed until he bled, overlooking at that cup that God said, it was for this reason you came into this world. And Jesus said, your will be done. And he drank that cup. See, it's so much easier that you don't want to drink your own vial. It's easy to make somebody else do it. You know who else thinks that way? Satan. See, Satan wants you to take the blame for his mischief. He wants you to pay the penalty for his wrongdoing. He wants you to be blamed for what he's doing. You understand? He wants you to be the one to suffer for it. You need physical proof? It's sitting right in front of you. Look at it. This is a concoction, a cooking of biblical proportion. It now has substance. It's no longer words on a page to you. This is a reality now, because you can look down at this and compare. Every bit of this is a food item. Drinking that wouldn't make you sick. You eat flour when it's cooked in bread. You put pancake syrup on pancakes. You put mustard and ketchup on hot dogs. You eat pickles. You put onion powder in things. There isn't one earthly thing on this table that you do not consume. Nothing on this table is something that you don't consume. Every bit of this is edible. It's not like I went outside and got grass clippings and tree bark and a dog turd and put in there. That's not what I done. I got stuff that is from a kitchen. And you still won't drink that. Jesus was given far worse than this. And he prayed until he bled. This is why. You want to sit back and say he don't love you? You want to sit back and say he ain't never done nothing for you? You want to sit back and say that Jesus don't care? Look down at it now. Say it now. You made this. There it is. What Jesus done is not possible to do by any other man or woman. He done this. And this was only the first step. Drinking that cup of sin was the first step. Now that he drank it, he had to suffer the consequences of drinking it, which was God's wrath. And God's wrath is breaking Jesus' body, beating him, spitting on him, ridiculing him, crown of thorns, nailing him to a cross, filleting him with a cat of nine tails without mercy. Now, look down at that bowl and say, Christ did not love you. If you've got the gall. Because I guarantee you, you're welcome to cry over this. I did. When God gave me this, I cried over it. Because until you do this, it's words on a page. Until you participate with this, you just don't get it. This makes it real. This gives it substance. Can you not feel Christ there now? Can you not feel his presence there now? Go and listen to what this man is saying, because you know this is the truth. This is based on the word in the Garden of Gethsemane. He asked Peter and them, can you not stay awake with me for 1 hour? While he prayed. He prayed hard to the Father, begging for that cup to be taken away from him. And God told him it was for that reason he come into the world. If you ever have a doubt, any doubt whatsoever, do it. Right there is the bowl. Do it. And look at it. Get a good whiff of it. Take a good hard look at it. Stir it up and mix it up. Get you some little cue cards out and write down, this is smiting. This is anal sex. This is oral sex. This is lies. This is stealing. This is coveting. Write it down on these little cue cards. Make your concoction of sin. And then if you're man enough or woman enough, drink it. Because I guarantee you ain't going to do it. Jesus Christ did it for you. Share that with people. This gives physical touch to one piece of Jesus Christ. God the Father gave this to me. And if you truly love Jesus, you will be in tears when you look down at this. Because when God gave it to me, I'm holding back tears now as I'm speaking this. Because I feel it. I know. I've done this a couple of times. I'm just like you. I had my own bowl. I bawled like a little kid. Because the Lord gave me a piece of his son that is so valuable to me. It's unreal to think outside this equation. So anybody that you show this video to, go to the Dollar Tree. That's where all this stuff comes from. Go to the Dollar Tree and get the stuff yourself. What are you talking? $20? Go get it. Set it up for them. And set them down. And play the devil's advocate to let them see. Until you saw this, you were blind to what this was all about. And that's how Satan works. He doesn't come and tell you, hey, I'm going to make you lie, so now hang on just a minute. And what we're going to do, you're going to say this. No, he doesn't do that. He doesn't tell you, hey, I'm going to get you in the room with that redhead over, and then you two's going to hump like rabbits. That way you can commit adultery. You can fornicate with each other. Now, she's married, don't worry about that. He don't tell you that. And he's not going to. He lures you in with bait. Oh, look how pretty that redhead is. Well, she's lonely and she needs to talk to you. She's eyeing you. You might want to go over and talk to her. And that's as far as he goes. The rest, because he's already talked to her too. Now that guy over, he's staring at you, buddy. And you see that car, he's driving that BMW. Hey, you know, your husband's treating you like crap. We'll go over and talk to him. See? Pitting one against the other. Turning these two to sin so that they would be pitted against each other. Because when this one's husband finds out, then there's going to be one pitted against the other. When that one's wife finds out about it, well, there's a divorce here and a divorce here. Now, guess what? You got 4 people all pitted against each other, all hating each other. And the devil sitting back with a bag of popcorn going, watch this. Think about that. Watch. He's going to kick his butt. She's going to whip her butt. And they're both going to get divorced. And he's not going to have any money. She's not going to have any money. Watch this. Just, here, you want some popcorn? That's what Lucifer does. He doesn't care about any of us. We are in a combat zone, people. And this is his tactics, to turn us against each other. He hates us because we look like God. We are made in God's image. It tells you, let us make man in our image. That means when you got 5 fingers on your left hand, so does God. You got 2 eyes, and so does God. You got a nose, and so does God. You got hair on top of your head, and so does God. Think. When Satan looks at you, he's seeing God, and he says, I can't stand this. So I'm going to get you to kill him, and I'm going to get somebody to kill that one, and then I'm going to find somebody to kill the one that killed that one. Just like the word says, turning man against his brother to man exists no more. That's what it's all about. To exterminate us. I hope you have a closeness to Jesus now. He is standing there with open arms. He has already won the fight. All you have to do is go to him and follow him. He's already done the work. He's already won the war. He's at the end of the war, waiting on you to complete the journey. The war's won. It's done. You just got to catch up to him. So, think about this, guys. Keep your guard up. Keep your brain focused. You're in a combat zone. Don't be sidetracked by American Idol. Don't be distracted by King's Island. Don't worry about Saturday night poker. Don't fret over stress at work. Don't worry about these things. They are diversionary tactics to get you to lower your guard so that you can be muddled and confused and not pay attention to what's coming. It's a chessboard. Brethren, may Jesus be with you.